Hello again, guys. It's Keith with Bulletproof RC, and I'm back with you to share my thoughts of the Losi 10 SCBE. I had a chance to run it a couple of times, put two battery packs through it, and so far I'm very impressed with this vehicle. My first concern with this vehicle was the compound of the tires. That was quickly erased. These tires hooked up quite well. I've ran this thing on asphalt, grass, and dirt, and I can say that all around it does a trick. It hooked up very well on asphalt, on grass hooked up very well, and on dirt I did lose a little traction, but the four-wheel drive and AVC kept this thing going in the right direction. So if you're going to bash this vehicle, highly recommend these tires. If there is a race class down the road, I would update them to some pro lines of some sort, depending on the track and the layout and everything. But as far as bashing around the house, which is primarily what this vehicle's targeted for, these tires are fine. So I have to eat crow there. I was wrong. Tires are good. As far as the shocks go, I was very impressed with the shocks. Whatever fluid they have in these shocks, it's right. The spring rate is right. There's a little bit of sag when you drop it. It's not over the top. It soaks up the bumps and handles in every condition. This is exactly what I would have done to the shock had I built the kit from scratch. Whatever oil's in here, I wish I knew, because when I moved the TLR shocks over to this vehicle, I want it to feel like this. If you want to keep these shocks on your SCBE, I think they would do just fine. Losi's plastics are durable. They're not known for breakage, so if preload clips don't bother you, I wouldn't worry about these shocks. I just happen to have a set of TLR shocks, so I'm going to install them. If preload clips bother you like they do me, of course the 10 platform's been around for a long time. There's a 10 Rally X, a 10 SCTE 2.0, a 10T. They all use the blue aluminum shock bodies. They should be, I haven't tested them, but these shock caps are the same part number that they were on my Losi SCTE, so I would imagine the blue aluminum shock bodies would work just fine. If you want to pick up a set of those, you can get them really cheap for under 20 bucks. You could outfit your whole car with aluminum shock bodies. Just use your same caps, your same cartridges, and the pistons and everything, same springs and all, and you could upgrade the shocks to the aluminum. I don't think the plastic shock caps are going to be a problem either, just because Losi's plastics they're good. All right, the Servo. The Servo was a little underwhelming. I kind of halfway expected this, but it was super slow and super weak, and just didn't get the job done for me. It doesn't bother me very much because I didn't have high hopes for it to begin with, and I've got a Savox SC1258 ready to go anyway. In fact, I showed this off in the previous video, but I've already started mounting pop-up parts on this vehicle, so I'm going to start moving over the rest of the parts soon. The motor, I love this motor. This 3800 kV motor is super fast and a great fit. It's the perfect 550 length. The previous SCTE 2.0 RTR had a short 540, 3900, and it was a little bit underwhelming in that vehicle as far as I was concerned. This motor rips in this car. It's super fast. On 2S, I would compare this vehicle to an 8-scale buggy running 4S. So if that gives you an idea of what you can expect, 3S in this car would be like 6S in an 8-scale buggy. I haven't even tried 3S because I did have one problem, and that was the fact that this motor did get hot with its current gearing. Losi has a 16-tooth pinion, made it up to, I think, a 48-tooth spur. Now, I could be wrong there, but I believe that's what the Losi SCTE spur is. And that gear ratio is a little bit much for this motor, apparently. I would recommend maybe bumping it down to a 15 tooth. That way you'll still retain the speed and actually, bring down the temps a little bit. Me myself, I'm going to continue to try to use this 16 tooth pinion running 2S because I have this fan that's it's from Sumo Racing. It's a carbon fiber fan top plate. It actually blows down the motor once the motor's installed, and I'm going to see if that don't bring the temperatures down, because I didn't have a temp gun when I ran the car, because the first time I ran the vehicle I didn't have it with me, and the second time I had my temp gun with me, but the minute I tried to check the temperatures, the 9-volt battery died in my temp gun because I've had it in there for a long time. Didn't have any spares. So anyway, but I did the finger test and little 3-second rule, and it was a little warm for me. The fuse, 130 amp ESC. I already know what this ESC is capable of. I loved it in the SCTE 2.0, and I bought one to put in the Yeti that I have, the Rock Racer. It works flawlessly. It doesn't cog. It's a great ESC. Now, just so you know, there is a little spot. Can't hardly see it in the camera, but there's this place where the fan plugs in right there, and that's also a port for a program box. And I knew this because I had this ESC before, but the Hobby Wing program card is compatible with this ESC, which tells me that this is probably a rebranded Hobby Wing ESC. But I'm going to zoom in here. Hopefully I can get focused. Yeah, there you go. Hobby Wing is HWPQ2012. That's the part number. And there's quite a few program settings, and they all this works flawlessly with setting up the ESC. And they actually have punch control set a little bit high on this vehicle, so that's one thing I definitely wanted to reduce that a little bit, because I like to be able to control how much wheel spin I have with my finger. I don't like an ESC deciding how much wheel spin I have. But all in all, I'm very pleased with this car. Again, as far as I'm concerned, I have no reason to put a 3S in this car because 2S was that impressive. It handled a lot like an 8-scale buggy as far as I'm concerned. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was in the market for an 8-scale buggy, but yet I had an affection for scale vehicles, I would choose this. That is, if you're not racing. Because basically this handles exactly like an 8-scale buggy, and yet it looks real. So new 8-scale buggies that are out currently, and truggies, they look like something that came out of Star Trek. They don't look like something that would be in the desert. So if you like scale vehicles like I do, then I highly recommend this vehicle. And if you love buggies, maybe it's where I come from, and I've got over 20 years in the hobby, and some of the earlier RC10s, the Gold Pan, and other vehicles I had were scale vehicles. They looked like something you would see in the desert, and I don't know what happened 10 years after that, because everything went to spaceships with wheels, and I didn't like that little era of RC very much. But anyway, now that scale vehicles are back in season for the most part, I definitely love RC, man. It's a lot of fun. But this is a car I would highly recommend to anybody. This is the last chance you're going to see it in its stock format, because I'm about to get ready to start putting some hop-up parts into it, and it's going to look much different very soon. But again, I reinforced my initial thoughts. You can buy this car. You don't have to upgrade it. It's going to perform well right out of the box. It does a great job. Maybe other than adding a motor fan or putting a 15-tooth pinion in it, that's the only op-ups you would have to buy for it. And you're talking about, pinion gear would cost between $5 and $10. A motor cooling fan might cost a little bit more. But it's a great little buggy. I'm very pleased with it. So I'm going to get to wrenching, and we're going to see what happens next.
Okay guys, thought I would share what I had to do to make this TLR 8 3.0 radio box work with the SCTE chassis. Use the side rails, had to Dremel them off a little bit. They normally, side rails come around all the way. Wouldn't work the way this radio box, it actually sticks out a little further than the chassis, so had to Dremel it off a little bit right here. It's not the prettiest thing. I drilled a hole right here because inside here I had to Dremel the railing a little bit to go around this radio box, but there's a screw and a nut right there, and then of course got the standard railing screws here, but the one on the end there actually goes into the radio box with a nut on the end of it. So anyway, normally the railing, get a hold of this chassis, usually the railing looks like that and this side looks like that. It's not the prettiest thing, but I think the benefits of a radio box outweigh having a little blemish right there. Alright, on to the next step,
guys. Got the parts installed. Everything that I had on hand for an SCTE 2.0 is a direct bolt-on. Quickly go over everything. You see the TLR 2.0 shocks, which are amazing on this vehicle. Got TLR toe blocks all the way down. Integrity front hubs and knuckles, and TLR hubs in the rear. You can see them in there. That's a TLR 2.0 chassis. And then got the TLR torque rods or chassis braces. DE not skid plates, golly. DE mud guards to keep dirt out of the CVDs. These are Extreme Racing carbon fiber shock towers for the 2.0 SCTE. Don't recommend using the Extreme Racing front shock tower just simply because it has more meat up here on top, and I guess I could shave it down like the TLR version, but what it does, it causes the body not to lay down quite as low as it would normally. So it's okay. It's, you know, if you're not real picky, it's not a problem, but it doesn't, let me get it closed all the way here, it just doesn't completely lay flush on that chassis like it used to. I ordered a TLR 2.0 carbon fiber shock tower to replace that with because I'm picky about stuff like that. I got a carbon fiber top plate in the front. I've already went over the fan top plate here and also the hot racing stuff on a previous video, so I won't bother doing that. 1258 Savox Servo to get things going there in the steering. Got Traxxas serrated wheel nuts, and last but not least, T-Bone front racing front skid plate for SCTE and DE Racing rear skid plate. So I think we're ready to go now, guys. So I'm going to give this thing a whirl and see how it works with all the parts installed. A little correction on the beginning portion of this video. That spur that's in this vehicle is a 40 tooth. So that explains the heat that this motor is getting. 40 tooth with a 16 tooth pinion, that's pretty hot gearing. So you know, just remember, guys, if you're going to run 3S in this thing, I would lower this pinion gear down probably to at least a 13 tooth probably. So anyway, keep that in mind if you plan on running 3S. On 2S, I believe with a motor fan and with the interior out, I'm going to get the air that I need for this motor, because it was just warmer than I like. It wasn't over the top. We'll try that and see how it works, and I'll report back. As always, guys, like and subscribe if the shoe fits, and have a great day.